I like a vintage one, I'll tell you that.
Well, you said it. Well, like Des 14 years on, Richard Noble is back as part of the new thrust team, which set the pulses racing to break the record again.
633 miles an hour was Richard Noble's world record 14 years ago. But now, with squadron leader Andy Green at the controls of Thrust SSC, the record was taken way past 700 miles an hour. But the ultimate target was the sound barrier. And 3 weeks later, the Nevada desert would hear the sonic booms. 763 miles an hour. Andy Green and Thrust were supersonic. For Richard Noble, the dream he'd been working towards for so long was achieved.
Right, got it.
Well, unfortunately, Sevi Ballesteros parked that golf buggy so badly we weren't able to get Thrust SSC in the studio, but it's out here on the forecourt along with Thrust team members, Richard Noble, Andy Green as well. Do we call you the driver, the pilot, or what?
Driver.
But it is a jet plane. You're a jet pilot by profession, and this is a jet plane on wheels, isn't it?
No, it's a car. It uses a lot of jet technology. The problems we actually have about creating a supersonic land vehicle are the problems that a jet fighter faces every day. So you finish up with jet engines, a lot of other technology, and a vehicle that looks very much like a jet, simply because it's trying to achieve the same sort of speeds. But it is very much a car. Through
the sound barrier was a little bit into the unknown as regards the rest of us, certainly. But for you, what were the physical sensations?
Well, first of all, actually going through the sound barrier you can't feel. I mean, watch pictures of people going supersonic in Concorde, you actually get no sensation, there's no huge shaking, banging, whatever. I cannot actually tell that I'm supersonic other than because of the actual instruments giving me the readouts.
But in a way, the sound barrier was the ultimate target. What really is next for you?
Well, yes, it was the ultimate target. I mean, the thing about it now is anybody going to take this thing on has basically got to go supersonic safely first before they can take on our record. So, yes, it is, and I suspect it'll be some time before the land speed record is broken again.
Great team effort, wasn't it?
It's all about a team effort, all about. There's 30 team here. We've got, on top of that, there were 5,000 Mach 1 club members. There are some 50 million following it on the internet and 231 companies. It's a great, great team effort.
It's a wonderful achievement. Great team, Richard Noble, and the fastest man in the world, ladies and gentlemen, Andy Green. Well, as regards more conventional motorsport, Schumacher against Villeneuve was always going to be the Formula One highlight of the year. And as for Damon Hill, he was given virtually no chance of successfully defending his World Championship title. Not wanted at Williams, any thought that the world champion could draw something extra from the Arrows Yamaha were dashed at the very first race. Damon Hill, winner of the 2 previous Australian Grand Prix, never made the start line. With his victory in Melbourne, David Coulthard promised much that never quite materialised. But Villeneuve had it all. The best car, a year's Formula One experience. He won in Brazil and held off Eddie Irvine to win in Argentina. With only 3 races gone, Michael Schumacher was already 12 points behind. Just the sort of challenge he relished. He was second behind Frentzen at Imola, and then when race day at Monaco was wet, there could only really be one winner. Schumacher powered past Frentzen off the start line to take a World Championship lead over Villeneuve that he'd hold right through until the end of September. Past the mid-season point, Damon Hill's fortunes hadn't improved. Criticised by team boss Tom Walkinshaw, out-qualified by teammate Pedro Diniz, he got a morale-boosting point at Silverstone, and then in Hungary, overtook Schumacher, led the race into the last lap, only for hydraulic failure to allow Villeneuve past and deny him the most astonishing win in Formula One history. But his reputation was restored, and a Jordan drive next year should make him competitive again. The Hungary win got Villeneuve back to within 3 of the championship lead. 4 rounds later, there wasn't enough track at the Nürburgring for both Schumachers. Michael and Ralph were out. And that, plus Villeneuve's disqualification in Japan, meant that they headed for Jerez only 1 point apart. On lap 48, they were still together. We could be forgiven for thinking we'd seen it all before, but at least the right man was heading to the World Championship crown. Was there evil intent behind this twitch of the wheel? As one newspaper observed, it left Schumacher's car in the gravel, his reputation in the gutter. Villeneuve was a worthy world champion. Schumacher was stripped of second in the championship and told to give road safety lessons. The sport lost some credibility, but tobacco sponsorship survived. No one could knock Mick Doohan off his perch. British Grand Prix winner and 500cc world champion for the 4th consecutive year. Britain's Carl Fogarty finished second in the World Superbike Championship. Neil Mackenzie retained his British title.
But the man who landed a world crown was Dougie Lampkin, picking his way carefully